Okay. It is good to see you again today, Al. How have you been since our last meeting?
I've been doing okay, Natalie. Just things are just really overwhelming still.
Okay. What kind of things do you find overwhelming this week?
Well, we've got children's division just breathing down her neck to do stuff, and I don't know what to do. And you know, Deb's not really in a place where she can handle it, and so it just, I'm just doing the best I can, but I just feel stressed out.
Yeah, it does sound like that is a very stressful situation, and that you definitely are on the right track to doing what you need to do. So let's talk about some of the things that you expressed. So you said that you're feeling overwhelmed.
Hmm.
What can you tell me about some situations when you feel overwhelmed?
Well, I'm doing the best I can. I'd like to be there for my kids more, but I work a lot. I work second shift where, by the time the kids are out of school, I'm already at work, and then they're in bed by the time I get home. And, I work really hard to make sure my family can have a good life. And now all of a sudden, the school's saying that they don't have what they need, that they're showing up and they're dirty. And I know that Deb's parents passed away, and I feel bad. And she was really close to them, and that's a hard thing. But at the same time, I kind of get frustrated because I feel like she's kind of abandoning us a little bit.
Yeah, well, I just like to point out you said that you work really hard, and I've noticed that too. And you've been working in the same place for 7 years, I'm sure has been very helpful to you, but also um, maybe makes you feel like you want to stay there and be there. And not sure I'm going with this, but I could also see how you would be overwhelmed in this circumstance. Um, so, is there, but I would also like to tell you that you're not alone, that a lot of other people in your situation struggle
Hmm.
with this. A lot of other husbands have to work very hard, and it's not always appreciated. So, um, can so you talked some about Deb. Can you tell me how that relationship is going based on the time from last time that we met?
Well, Deb's still, really depressed.
Okay.
And I understand. Don't get me wrong, I'm not that close to my parents, but the fact that anyone's family dying is hard to get over. And I get that, and I want to give her space, and I want to let her do what she needs to do. I just don't know how I can help. And I still love her. I still think she's a great mom. I still, care for her deeply. But I just feel, kind of helpless just to do anything but do what I know how to do, which is, go to work and earn a paycheck and make sure that, the family has what they need. And that's hard. That's what my parents did. My dad worked, and, you know, sure, but I'd like to see him more. But he made sure that I had a good life, and that's what I'm trying to do for my kids. And now I feel like that's kind of slipping away from us somehow, and I don't know how to handle that.
Okay. So I noticed when you were talking about how this whole situation has made you feel, especially when you got more frustrated. I noticed your tone got a little higher, more intense. Um, what makes you kind of feel that way? Is it what kind of frustrations are you feeling when you think about that situation that you're in?
Well, I feel like there's nothing that I could really do. I feel like, I don't know. I want to do more, and I want to give Deb the space that she needs to get over the death of her parents. But I mean, there are times when I just can't be there, where someone needs to be there, and I don't think it's irrational to say that she's got to kind of pull it together at least for a little while while the kids are there, and she's not, and that's frustrating. And don't get me wrong, I feel bad, harping on her with the fact that again, she's going through something horrible, and it's a stressful time. But I mean, if I was just to say I'm upset and then not be able to go to work, there would be consequences for that.
Right.
And unfortunately, we're kind of suffering those consequences in the children's division. And rather than saying, all right, I'm going to work hard and I'm going to kind of get these things corrected, she's just not doing that. She's still, kind of just focused on the death of her parents. Not that, again, I feel like a jerk saying that she can't grieve, but, we've got kids. I mean, we've got to all do our part.
Right. So you feel like she maybe isn't doing her part and you're doing more than her part?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I hate saying that I don't feel like she's doing her part, because I know she's a great mom and, she's done so well this entire time. But, I mean, it's just kind of with all the chaos that's going on now, she's not being the old Deb. And I need the old Deb right now.
Right. So, you feel maybe that you're somewhat alone in the situation.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you maybe noticed a time when this is okay for you to talk about with Deb, or do you feel like she doesn't want to talk about it?
Well, I mean, part of it is I don't feel like I can talk to her about it. I mean,
okay.
I mean, if you were my wife and I came home and I said, gee, honey, I'm sorry your parents died, but suck it up, the kids need dinner.
Right.
I mean, I can't say that.
Right. Okay, well, let's think about some things we could do here and now, maybe some ways we can change to make goals for this next week. Is there something specific that you feel that we've talked about today that you would want to focus on?
I don't know. I want to feel like I can, be there for Deb, and I don't feel like I can.
Okay.
Because I'm gone when she needs to be there for the kids, and then when I get home she's in bed, and so I try and go to sleep, and I've been trying to get up early, but even then she's sleeping in. She's not, I mean, she doesn't really feel like talking. She just wants to cry all the time, and I don't know what to do, so I give her space. I mean, that's kind of what we do in my family, is we give people space, and I don't know if that's helping or if that's hurting, and I don't know how to start a conversation to even ask.
Yeah, that does sound really hard to deal with, and I definitely, maybe we could continue and put that as a goal for our time together, so that because it sounds like it's a concern of yours that we need to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll put that as a note, and we'll come back to it later in the session to work on those goals. I do want to talk about your children this week. Have you been, how do you feel about your interactions with them since the last time we met?
Well, I mean, I've been able to spend a lot of time with Tim and Joe over the weekend, and we tried to get out of the house, we went to the park, we tried to do some stuff, and but unfortunately a lot of that just got cut short. And the reason why I got cut short is, I had to go to the yard and go to the grocery store and, get the oil changed in the car, and, I mean, there's always this tug of war between being dad and kind of making sure the house runs as smoothly as it can.
Right.
And, at the same time, I'm trying to teach my kids how to be adult men, and I can't just say, well, you don't have to go to the grocery store because you want to spend time with me. It's, you know, you gotta eat, you gotta have food, you gotta make sure that the bills are paid, you gotta make sure that, you know, everyone has what they need. And unfortunately, that comes at the cost of time. You know, I have the same 24 hours as everyone else.
Right. Well, it sounds like you did get some time with them.
A little bit, you
A
know.
little bit, okay. But it still is, there's still a lot of responsibilities that you feel responsible for to get done. So how about extended family? Have you been in contact with any of them since
Not
since
really.
this whole situation?
I mean, I'll hear from them closer we get to Thanksgiving.
Okay.
But I mean, they're, you know, they're 3-4 hours away, and they got their own stuff. You know, so I mean, I don't want to impose.
Okay. So maybe some time, well, hold on. Let me think. So if they're not a big support, is there any other supports that you have that maybe we could explore?
Well, I mean, I got a couple guys that I work with, and you know, they're married, and their wives are there, and you know, they've offered to help. But you know, again, it's, I don't know, it's kind of like an our family thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of embarrassing, you know. I mean, I don't really like they certainly don't know the children's division's involved, but you know, they've kind of said, you know, their wives want to bring over like a casserole, just just to kind of help post funeral or post the death of the parents, and as the funeral gets a little bit closer. I mean, that's, you know, that was good. But I mean, that was all that ended a couple months ago. I mean, after the funeral happened, to spend a little bit of time, and you know, they did, people helped for a little while, but I think Deb still needs some help. But I don't want to, you know, burden my friends by saying, "Hey, my wife can't be a mom," you know.
Mm-hmm. So it's not necessarily something you feel like you can talk to your friends about.
It would be embarrassing. I mean, it's embarrassing enough having children's division, you know, kind of be up in our business, than having, you know, friends and other people. I mean, it's a small town, and you know, I don't want it to get around that I can't take care of my family.
Right. That's understandable, because it could be considered an embarrassing situation to some people. So I could see that, and maybe that will change for you. But if not, we can always come back here and talk about it and have a safe place here. So based on our conversation today, I kind of gathered that in this past week you have kind of felt maybe a little overwhelmed. You've had a lot of responsibility. Things are still the same, similar to what last week was. Does that all sound correct, or is there anything that I missed about what we talked about?
I mean, it's pretty spot on.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you talking to me today. The things we discussed can be very difficult, and I hope that we continue to talk about them.
Okay. Well, thank you, Natalie. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.